As we mark Freedom Month this year, we will pause and take stock of our constitutional democratic project under the theme Consolidating Our Democratic Gains. As we mark 28 years since the dawn of democracy in 1994, almost fast approaching 3-decade milestones for the nation's constitutional democracy, a review of trajectory showing or showcasing how we are consolidating our democratic gains merits reflecting upon. Inherent, therefore, in Freedom Month 22's theme is our conviction that besides the many challenges that have threatened to stymie this important constitutional democratic project, there are gains that we ought to safeguard. It is these gains that should provide us with a foothold to soldier on as we tackle some of the stubborn challenges that still lie ahead, including the 3 resilient fault lines of unemployment, poverty, and inequality. One of the enduring sins of apartheid was the neglect of black communities, even in terms of the provision of basic needs, which impugned on their human dignity. It therefore stands to reason that provision of basic services such as electricity, clean running water, as well as provision of other basic infrastructure to previously disadvantaged communities are highlighted, as was the case on the core of the first development blueprint, the RDP. In giving meaning to freedom, successive democratic administrations since 1994 have had to intensify making sure that the most basic of services are delivered to the people. The 2019 baseline survey of the Foundation for Human Rights is one of the most reliable pieces of empirical data that offers a glimpse of South Africa's progress since 1994 into some of these basic of human needs. Indeed, freedom is going to be measured by the material change in the conditions of the lives of the people. We take an example of housing, for instance. There's already an 82% of the adult population living in formal housing. Although increased migration of the rural hinterlands into the major urban centers threaten to derail some of the gains in this regard. Also increased immigration into South Africa by persons who boast no special or scarce skills and who are principally economic migrants has also put further strain on the housing statistics. Sanitation, water, and electricity are important sets of indicators in tracking the nation's progress since the dawn of democracy in 1994. According to the 2019 baseline survey of the Foundation for Human Rights, progress has been impressive in this regard, considering the fact that clean running water and electricity were a novelty for many communities during apartheid. Only 10% of adults reported to have access to water outside of their yards or their places of dwelling. With regards to electricity, an overwhelming majority of 92% had access to electricity, a resounding success compared to the estimate of only 53% in October household survey of 1994. The Presidential Youth Employment Intervention is a strategic national vision and plan which sets out priority actions to address youth unemployment. This includes a national pathway management network that matches candidates with work opportunities. This has enabled young people to have access to opportunities. Through the National Student Financial aid scheme, NSFAS, government has made it possible for the vast majority of the black poor youth to access higher education, which remains one of the foremost channels to break the cycle of generational poverty. On this, we note that there's been a phenomenal increase in investing in NSFAS from 5 billion rands in 2018 to more than 45 billion rands to date. For our part, we have been on the path to respond to Archbishop Desmond Tutu's injunction from the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, which spoke of the reparation of the victims of apartheid. Over and above the monetary reparation, they also enjoined us to ensure that there is symbolic reparation in remembrance of those who were victims and who were murdered by apartheid. To that extent, transformation of the heritage landscape, which had largely remained white, has been key. This is our own way as a sector in bringing meaning to freedom. And this is intangible value in any society and has to be observed as such, in ensuring that the many unearthed and untold stories are given the platform through the National Oral History Project that we support. Through the Geographical Names Project, Names Change Project, we have also deliberately set the country on the path towards healing by changing names of towns and cities and other centers which have an unsavory colonial and apartheid connotations. In doing so, we have always sought to consult widely in ensuring that the affected communities are part of the name change process. Despite occasional litigation by disgruntled parties, this process has had resounding success, and it thus remains work in progress. Symbolism, as also acknowledged by the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, is extremely important. It is also through symbolism that people feel part of a community and the broader society, and geographical name change is one of those potent assistive we have available as a department in affecting and effecting the desired social change. As part of Freedom Month, we'll have consolidated program of activations which involve most of government as well as state entities. This would be shared with members of the media in due course. I'm also pleased to announce that Mpumalanga is our official host for the celebration of 2022 Freedom Month Day. And Middleburg in the Nkangala district is the chosen venue. We call on the nation to use the month of April to express what it means for them to be created for freedom. We know that as we enumerate the gains of our freedom, it's very easy today to take it for granted. People sometimes honestly believe that our freedom was free. It was not free. And we dare not take for granted what has been achieved. Through the same breath, it is this government which has been able to articulate the point that the work is still work in progress. The work of total emancipation of our people is still work in progress. We are created for freedom. Let us celebrate our democratic gains and continue to consolidate these gains for the benefit of each and everyone in our country. We also need to ensure that we continue deepening the democratic gains and deepening freedom to our people.
Sports, Arts and Culture Minister Nathi Mthethwa launching the Freedom Month a little earlier in Pretoria.